Okay, so I've still got this plastic piece in place. I took the one off over here on the other side, but I just wanted to show you what the problem is with a lot of speakers today, and that is this plastic part right there. Let's see, yeah, see where the foil is? That plastic piece right there. It's going to get in the way of a lot of today's bigger magnet speakers, or with a deeper basket can hit right here. You know, so it's not just the width of the magnet, it's also the depth. Both combined will tell you whether it's going to hit in this or not. Another problem with this is shallow in the back here, so as far as height goes, you don't have much until you hit the grill right here. You have a lot of height here. So what you can do, if you have a speaker that's hitting this right here, you could raise this thing up a little bit because you have more height in the back here before you hit the grill. But to get to all this, to raise it up, you have to take this whole thing off. So, but again, you might want to just skip the whole 6x9 thing and just try to go with a good 6.5 speaker or 6-inch that'll fit in there, 5 1/4 or whatever. But you still may have that issue, you know, with hitting this, depending on what it is, you know. And the cutout width, if the cutout gets beyond about, I think it's about 5 1/8, or no, 5 3/8, I think is about the absolute limit. Anyway, so that's what's going on with trying to fit speakers back here that makes it so difficult. You think, oh, you got this giant space, you know, any old 609, that's what you think, but it's this thing is causing the problem. And part of me wanted to say, well, I'll just cut out this and do whatever, but someday I may plan on putting that custom sub in here again, and it uses this space, so I don't want to take away from that. I got one for this side. If I can find another one, I'm going to get another one for this, and I need this airspace for this whole second sub. Anyway, that's the deal. All right, so I removed this guy on this side. Remember, it's up here. Remove this bolt first. It fastens right here. And then this little clip that goes in here. Again, you got to reach in with a screwdriver and push down on this so that it can pop out. So just make a little space, push a big old long screwdriver down into here and push it down and then pull it out. So that brings this out, and when you do that, that reveals this screw that you have to take out for this thing. So this screw hole is hidden by that pillar there. So might as well do this one while we're at it, and I'm going to have to put the seat up to do that. Alright, so I got both of these guys off. This one was on the left was slightly easier because it didn't have the cigarette lighter part in it, that guy, to remove. But this now shows why the speaker interior looked different on this side. Seemed to have a whole lot more space than on this side, because if you look, it has this big bulbous thing, whatever this is. I have no idea because there's not one on this side. So we have all this speaker cavity here, and it goes all the way down into here. In fact, it's so open, this little space through here is an airspace that comes into the cabin, and it connects all the way up through here. I don't know, this going down into whatever, I have no idea if that's good or bad for a speaker, you know, that it's ported, so to speak. And then this one, of course, I have to know what this is, so eventually I may pull this out of here, but I'll look down in there. I don't know whether I need to take all this off anyway. I guess there's the plastic guys here. I'll probably take it off and line it all up with kill mat or something anyway. So let me take that off and see what we're looking at there. Alright, so I got this thing out of the way, more or less. I haven't really yanked that all the way down, but so it's just this one guy, you know, through here into here, and I just use one of these guys to. Having removed this, it just shows this, and looking under the wheel well, there doesn't look to be anything different than on this side. So something is inside of here that does something for the vehicle, and I have no idea what it is. But anyway, probably Google it and see if I can figure it out. That's that. And I pried out this guy out of that hole. I'm pulling this thing out of here. It's pretty tough to come out of there, so I hope it jams back in there when I go to put it back. In other words, hope it's not a pain in the butt to do that. Okay, so starting in this section, remove this guy. This screw was missing, so I didn't have to do anything there. I'll have to get one to put it back in. And these other two things just popped. So this popped out of place. It's still got the belt around it. I don't know if I'm going to take this off or not, but it's like that for now. So then I had to remove this, and I created a new bag called rear door bottom panels, and there's 2 screws, one on each side, and I figured there's probably going to be one on the other side like this, which there is. So first thing you have to do is pop this guy off. He's up in there. Just kind of pop everything. There's no screws for this, no screws for this guy, but there is, as expected, this screw that holds this guy on. So we're going to get these 2, and then these should pop off, and then we can hopefully get to the carpet. Okay, so I've got these guys on the right side to take off. Hopefully this will just pop up. And this just popped down before. And that guy's off, and I'll get that screw down. Okay, so this goes in the magic bag. I guess this is kind of silly, but labeling all this stuff, I guess you put it in a big pile. Most of it's the same, but I don't know. I usually get in trouble when I do that kind of thing. So anyway, rear door bottom panels, 4 screws. And my plan with this stuff is just to peel this back and stick on as much kill mat as I can get in there. You know, I'm not going to go crazy with it. I've got it up to about here, and I can peel this back with the seats down. I don't have to cover 100%. You notice I put the caulking in here just because when I had to replace this sender unit in here, I could smell gas up in the cabin. I have since then had to pop this open because my curiosity, I could still smell gas. Well, it wasn't coming from here. It was just residual, probably leaked over the gas tank or whatever. But in any case, you smell it in the cabin, but you smell it mostly through the rear wheel because the gas tank's right there. So if you smell gas from here, it's probably your sender. This is a sender and the sender filter, and that's the gas pump on the other side, the 2 identical looking one of these sort of things. So anyway, make sure your gas is about at least 3/4 of the way down. I mean, I saw videos doing this and they had plenty of gas in there, so I had, you know, filled it up. But I'd driven around town and stuff. I popped this off and gas was everywhere. Piled it. It was on a slant here, which I wasn't expecting. You know, I didn't really expect any of it. But I had gas all over here. It took weeks to get the gas smell out of here. So Pine Sol is wonderful for that, by the way. All right, so I decided to, since I got this screw removed, I was going to start pulling on this, but it seemed kind of tight, and I thought, well, let me start up here. And I started to pull on here, and it's pretty tight, and of course, underneath here appears to be screws, so I'm going to remove these, and then we'll see if this thing will pop out. Okie doke. So after removing these 2 screws, obviously from over here, feed the belt through here so that you can get this thing off. This has to come out at an angle, so I'm just making this note to myself that it has to go back in at an angle, you know, like so. Get the belt out of the way. So really it's just 4 screws, these 2 and those 2, and it comes out really easily. And I think my belt has really got a bad spring, so I think I'm going to look into replacing that. My Lord, look at that. Yeah. Anyway, because it just is a pain in my butt, you know, this thing. So it just dangles around and you can't close the door and all that stuff. So anyway, that's that for now, and I gotta get the other one. And I wish I'd put my phone back in some location where I know where it is. I left it in the back seat on the bottom on the floor. So I was going to record this and I'm like, where's that stupid phone? Alright, so I got this molding off of here so I can get to the carpet because, yeah, I'm not going to take the seats out. I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to pop these guys off right here and pull the carpet up till about as far as I can get it and stuff some of the foil under all these areas. Foil, you know, the kill mat. And, you know, like I said, I'll get some under here as much as I can. I'm just trying to get all the pings down. Maybe even a little along here, whatever. You know, as long as I'm in here. Maybe even a little behind here, whatever. When I get that done, I'll put the carpet back down, but of course leave this open. This is where I'm going to run the speaker wires. You know, you don't do it on both sides, so I'll run it up through here, connect to the head unit and the doors and everything else. I'm going to have the amp in the back there. So anyway, and I'll do the same up front, loosen up that carpet, put as much as I possibly can up there, and I'm sure that'll make a world of difference. I'm also going to do this back part here and as much of this. I think it'll make a big difference. From having done my Jeep, I know it does, and I put in Dyna Pad in addition to Dyna Mat. But the funny thing is, when I put the Dyna Pad in, it seemed like it absorbed a good deal of the bass. I liked the sound of my stereo system with just Dyna Mat. And so I'm not gonna, if I do Dyna Pad, I'll do a little bit down here, but that'll be about it to keep some of the road noise from the back here. But I'm not going to do it now anyway. I'm going to see how I like this, and this is easy to get at. I'm not going to mess with this, but I can always pull the little trifold door thing and all that stuff out real quick and throw some Dyna Pad down there, and I'm good to go. So I can do that later if I want to. So that's the plan.